So let's get into a bit of war here for you guys. Chess pieces are moving. We're on, what, 52D chess now? We used to be on 5D, 6D, 7D chess. Who knows how many moves ahead things are? Who is saber rattling? Who the hell is ready? Let's just get to some headlines here. And I got a short clip here from some American propaganda here I want to show you guys on what is going on. So U.S. troops injured in an attack on Iraqi airbase. A member of the Iraqi security forces was also badly injured in the attack, reports say. The UN, Palestinians' right to build their own state must be recognized by all. And that is, oh, there's our friend there from the WEF. Discussing there. His name is Antonio Gutierrez, the same guy. Anyways, I'm not gonna. Pentagon, it's up to the Houthis when they decide to stop striking. Israel strikes residential building in Syrian capital, says media. UK deploys troops to NATO military drills while ramping up aid to Ukraine. This is very important. This one here is this military buildup. We were talking to you guys. I found a video from 2018 where we were talking about this military buildup along the Russian border that's actually may spark a world war. The UK has announced it would be sending troops to NATO military drills and a generous boost in aid to Ukraine as a part of a new defense agreement signed by the British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak in Kiev. The country plans to send a task force of 20,000 service personnel and to participate in NATO's Operation Steadfast Defender, accounting for nearly half of the 41,000 people overall who are expected to take part. The exercise, which is intended to practice repelling a Russian invasion, will include a multinational deployment of dozens of aircraft and warships. It has been described as one of the biggest NATO military drills to be held since the Cold War. So this is very important right here. Very important war information here. And letting Ukraine into NATO is basis for World War III, says member of state. Slovakia will veto a bid by Ukraine to join NATO should one ever materialize, Prime Minister Robert Fico says. And more war. John Kirby says there's no evidence of international Israeli war crimes in Gaza. China hints at its asymmetric warfare system aimed to dethrone the US dollar. And we've been talking about unpegging off the petrodollar now for many years on this channel. And alternate currencies going to take place and parallel economies taking place. For Beijing, it's not so much about replacing the greenback with the current system, but creating an entirely separate alternative. And I want to unpeg off the dollar and de-dollarize. And let's keep going, folks. EU's top diplomat accuses Israel of creating and financing Hamas. And that's old news. That was already brought up on here multiple times with one of our previous callers that was living in the Middle East. And she called in and told us how this was all funded and put together. And I think she was living in she was living in Syria at the time. And she called into the show very regularly to give us updates. And okay, so I got a little bit of a video here on YouTube I want to play for you guys from Jason A, if you know the channel. He's a really good channel. I've been following him for years. I'm just going to play a minute or two of this because I really want you guys to see this on the propaganda machine in America.
Yemen, just one of the flashpoints in this part of the world, blazing red. Iran and Pakistan now trading fire. And with the war in Gaza raging, tensions between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon grow, while militants attack U.S. forces in Syria and Iraq.
You know things are bad in the region when even the Taliban are calling for calm.
Should we be
worried about this rising tension in the Middle East.
I think the world's going mad. So, what started out as a conflict in Gaza, we're now getting more and more towards the border of India.
Well, rebels are rising in the Middle East once again for the fourth time. The U.S. carrying out retaliatory strikes against the Iran-backed Houthis in Yemen. The Houthis again preparing to fire missiles toward the commercial ships in the Red Sea.
That's a critical trade route for the world, so the U.S. has taken preemptive action, once again launching Tomahawk missiles against those Houthi rebels. And there's also more escalation in the region. Pakistan is now striking Iran.
Really what this is seeing Iran flexing its military muscles around the ongoing Middle Eastern crisis. And this is just yet again Iran trying to show that it is a regional power. And also, ultimately, what we can say simply is that this crisis continues to just grow here in the Middle East.
And they are the center of gravity that's destabilizing the region. They have 7 proxies out there working their agenda. The most significant one, obviously, is the war in Gaza, but we've noted all the others, and you just mentioned another one, the Houthis. Where is all that coming from? That is because Iran's objectives are very clear, and that is to dominate and control the Middle East, drive the United States military out of the Middle East, and destroy the state of Israel by weakening it politically, and people don't want to live there. So this is what is happening here.
We are seeing a very dangerous back and forth unfolding between two nuclear states.
Well, what you have to realize, that Pakistan's attack on Iran is unprecedented. I can't remember this ever occurred, especially a missile strike against an Iranian village.
And that's because earlier this week, an Iranian strike targeted what Tehran claims was a Sunni militant base in this area of Pakistan. That's in addition to airstrikes that the regime launched late Monday in Iraq and Syria, also a response to the terror attack in Kerman, which has now been claimed by the Islamic State.
So there's the American media going full blast, beating its war drums and getting people, instilling the fear in the people, so to say. And we'll keep you always updated here on Mike in the Night with war news and where the war is going. It's a war on everything, but we'll keep you updated.